Hello friends, I'm Miss Deanna and we're here in the activity room of the Bell Road branch of the Newburgh-Chandler Public Library. And we're here to have some adventures with art. Today is going to be all about lines. So some people think that lines are just straight up and down or side to side, but lines can be a lot of things. So before we get started with our story, I want you to pick out an imaginary marker or an imaginary crayon or an imaginary paintbrush and make it any color that you want. So mine is green because that's my favorite color. And we're going to practice making some lines. So straight up and down. Start up here. Ready? Perfect. Now we can go over here and go to the other side. Excellent. Two really wonderful straight lines. But we don't want to stop there. So let's try wavy lines like this, like the ocean, or like this, kind of like the wind. Now we can do zigzag lines. And those are fun because you can go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Or side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side. Now my favorite line of all is the spiral. So you start real big out here and you go all the way to the middle. Are you ready? Oh, that's so much fun to make. And don't forget, we can also make lines with a bunch of dots. So we can make a wavy line with a bunch of dots, or a straight line with a bunch of dots, or a zigzag line with a bunch of dots. Okay, I think you're ready to hear our story. So today's story comes from the book Exclamation Mark. And it's by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and Tom Lichtenheld. He stood out from the very beginning. He stood out here, and he stood out there. One little line, friends, made all the difference. He tried everything to be just like them. He's upside down. He's trying to squish the top of the exclamation mark, and all he's done is made a zigzag. No matter what he tried, he just wasn't like them. He thought he would run away. And then one day, question mark came by. Who are you? What grade are you in? What's your favorite color? Do you like frogs? When's your birthday? Who's taller, you or me? Do you tell jokes? Do you like dogs? Or do you like cats? Do you have a favorite ice cream? Stop! Yelled exclamation mark. How did you do that? Asked question mark. Can you do it again? So he started small. Hi. And that felt right. So he tried something bigger. Howdy. And that felt even better. So then he pushed himself a little bit more. Wow. Great! Happy birthday! Congratulations! And all kinds of exclamations. He couldn't wait to show everybody. Hey, guys, it's me! Look what I can do! Of course, there was much exclaiming. Isn't he something? Said the question mark. There was never a doubt in our minds, said the periods. So with his head held high, He ran off to do the job that he was meant to do. The end! Exclamation point. Isn't that a fun story? And what a difference it makes to put a straight line on the exclamation point or a curly line on the question mark. It helps us read the sentence much differently. Another one of my favorite stories is about Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's an old book, but in this book, Harold starts to draw a story with just a purple crayon. And he just keeps going and going. He draws a monster that is so scary, he scares himself. And his hand that is holding the purple crayon starts to wiggle and makes a wavy line like water. And Harold starts to sink into the wavy line. Oh no! But that's okay, because Harold's got his purple crayon, and he draws a boat, and he sails away in his boat. The other book in our library that I found that had to do with lines actually has the word lines in the title. It's called Lines That Wiggle. And this one is by Candace Whitman. And in this one, lines do all kinds of crazy things. And so it made me think of something that I like to do once in a while. If you have a ribbon at home, can you see that this ribbon looks like a straight line? If I do this, I can make it look like a wavy line or a big circly line. So let's try that together. Now, if you don't have a ribbon, you can make one later by just attaching it to a straw. You can use string, anything that's nice and loose like this, okay? If you don't have a straw, you can get a stick, maybe a big spoon from the kitchen. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Lines that wiggle, lines that waggle, lines go round and round. Lines that ziggle, lines that zaggle, and slither on the ground. Lines that jump, lines that slump, and some lines just sit down. Let's try it again, but this time we're not going to use the ribbon, so you can see how you can do this at home. You ready? Lines that wiggle, lines that waggle, lines go round and round. Lines that ziggle, lines that zaggle, and slither on the ground. Some lines jump, and some lines slump, and some lines just sit down. All right, friends, I want to show you our artist this time, and this artist uses lines in his artwork. His name is Piet Mondrian, and he uses mostly straight lines and sometimes colored shapes. It's called abstract art. You can look at it this way, this way, this way, and I bet you could make something that looks very similar to this. Later on, he started adding little dots to his artwork, and some people said it was like you were looking down from a tall building onto a city. So that's our artist for this week. Now I think it's time to see if I have anything special in my art box. So let's get everything ready here. Get a clean sheet of paper, and let's see what we have. We have in our art box, we have some crayons, some strips of paper, glue sticks, a pair of scissors, and 2 pictures. Now you can do this a couple of different ways at home, friends, but what we're going to do is we're going to make a crazy hair picture. Now you can start with just a face and a neck, like this if you want. But I think it's kind of fun if you have a picture at home of yourself. This is me, and you can cut out that picture, and we're gonna give me crazy hair. So I'm gonna cut my hair off. Now here's a clue about scissors, folks. When you are cutting, you always cut away from yourself. A lot of us like to turn the scissors toward ourselves. You never turn the scissors. You only turn the paper. Okay. All right, here's Miss Deanna. And now I'm going to use lines to give myself crazy hair. So, do you remember what some of those lines are? We can do straight lines. We can do swirly lines. We can do zigzag lines. We can use lots of different colors. The other thing that you can do is if you have some wrapping paper at home or anything that has a pattern, you can take that with your glue stick and you can make that into some crazy hair too. And then if I decide later, I can add a body. And maybe some scenery. Now, I'm going to show you someone that you don't get to see because he is behind the camera, but this is my friend Mr. Tate. Now, Mr. Tate, I wanted to use his picture because he has this fabulous beard. So we're going to give him a crazy beard. So I'm sorry, Mr. Tate, but I'm cutting off your beard here. Now remember, see, I'm not turning the scissors. I'm only turning the paper. All right, got my glue. Put that on there. Oh! There he is. All right, let's give him some crazy beard here. And some zigzags. And I love this paper, so we're going to add some of this paper too. Blue and a little bit of red. There we go. Okay, friends. So we've met a new artist, we've talked about lines, and we've found out what was in our art box. I think that's enough for one day. I hope you've enjoyed Adventures in Art. I hope you come back again, and next time we're going to look at colors. So until then, we say goodbye like this. We say goodbye like this. We clap our hands and stomp our feet. We say goodbye like this. Thank you, friends.